Hey guys, welcome back. Last time we set up our custom user model. So we set it up and we are now using it in our main settings file, and we now have chances to extend it if we wanted. So in this video, we're going to be setting up the model for the to-do. So to set up the model for the to-do, we want to go to the to-do and also go to models. So here we want to set up a class. It's going to be called to-do. So we are going to be inheriting from models.model. So basically this gives us the utilities to basically construct a model. So our model is going to be having a few things. One of them is going to be the title. So we can have title here. So title is going to be a char field. Then we can have max length, okay. Then the next thing is going to be a description. So then the description can be the text field. So for the text field, you actually don't need to specify the max length. It's not mandatory. Then the next thing we're going to add is completed field. So is underscore completed. So it's going to be a boolean field, and by default it's going to be false, like you see. Then we need to define a toString method. So $str, then let's return the title. So self title. So one other thing we need to set up is the owner. So we need to set up a foreign key with the user, such that when we have a user, we can get all the to-dos they have created. And of course, the way application is going to work is you're not going to be seeing to-dos of everyone. You should only be able to see yours. So here let's set up our owner. So owner is going to be a foreign key. So the foreign key, we need to set up a 2. So 2 is going to be the model we are referencing. So let's import our model. So we can go to authentication dot models, import user. Then we need to specify an on delete. So on delete, we can use models cascade. So this means that every time a user is deleted, we should make sure that we delete out all the to-dos they had created on the site. So that's what that does. Okay, so moving forward, another thing that I'm going to do is set up a tracking model, or a model that's going to have things like created at and updated at. So you note that things like created at and updated at, in your case you might have something else, might be repeating for all the other models. So somehow and for some reason Django doesn't provide you these two fields by default. So what you want to do is you want to create a tracking model for those. So I'm going to come over. So I'm going to create a helpers folder here, helpers, and then in here I'm going to have a models.py. So now I can create a model. So class, I'm going to call it tracking model, tracking. Then we are going to inherit from models.model. So models.model, like this. Then we will have, let's make sure we're importing models. So we'll come over here and have the same import. So here we can have created at and updated at. So created at should be created at. So models, it's going to be a datetime field. So here we want to do auto now. So every time the instance of this model is created, then we want to make sure that for this created at, we insert the current date time at that point, at that time. So we also want updated at. So updated at. So for updated at, it's also going to be a datetime field. And now here we can add. So whenever it's updated, so we can use auto now add, then set it to true. And that's going to be using also the current date time every time that model is going to be updated. So to be able to use this, by default, we can use this as a separate model for any other app. But what we want to do is we want to make it abstract, meaning we shouldn't be using this to create objects itself. So here we can have a class meta. So for the class meta, we want to put abstract equals true. So this means that this model should only be inherited from and not used to create new models, because this is very generic tracking model. You can't create objects from tracking model, because what it does mean, because normally if you have a user model, then you know, if I say user, new user, or user, you're creating a new user instance. But tracking model, that doesn't make sense. So the only use of this will be to be inherited from, so we can get these fields on every model we create. So we can do So we can do abstract equals true. Also, whenever we are querying for objects, we are always, most of the times, we're always going to need them to be ordered by the create date in descending order. So the recent ones coming on top. So here we can also define ordering. So ordering can be created at, but we always want the descending order, so we put the -1 there. And yeah, so that means that in the to do, we can come inherit our tracking model. So let's import our tracking model. So whenever where we created helpers, we want to make sure we can import from this folder. So let's add a danda init danda.py. Then let's import that models file. So from helpers.models import tracking model like this. Then let's add tracking model here. So we want to remove this one too and save. So when we save, let's stop the server and rerun it. It is quite stuck. So when we save, you see that now it is running. And yeah, so instead of us having to say created that, updated that in this model, we go to another model we create, we put those, another model we put those. That's not gonna be helpful. You're gonna be repeating code. So that's why we inherit from this, and basically saves us a couple of lines and makes our things more organized. So now let's go ahead and migrate this. So we can do Python manage.py. We want to first prepare our database for the new changes. So we do make migrations, and then we want to say migrate like this. Okay, so you see that now our migrations are applied. If we run back our server, things will be still working. So that's gonna do it for now. In the next video, we are gonna go ahead and start working with model forms. So thanks guys for watching. If the video helped you, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll talk to you later.